Hello and welcome to Billikens Buzz. I'm Taylor McDonald. Today, we examine homelessness in St. Louis. I recently sat down to talk with Katie Leifer, a life skills specialist at Peter and Paul Community Services, a homeless service provider in Soulard. She works directly with the homeless in our community. Let's take a look at what she had to say about homelessness in the St. Louis area. Hi Katie, welcome to Billiken Buzz.
Hi.
So I guess we'll just get right into it. First, how prevalent is homelessness in St. Louis?
I am not sure like a specific number. Like I'm not a numbers person, but I just know that it's a widespread epidemic in St. Louis. Specifically that there are more people who need a bed than there are beds in shelters and other places, especially during the winter, like when treatment facilities are even filling up because people just need somewhere to sleep. Okay. So it's widespread.
What are some of the major causes or what leads to homelessness in St. Louis?
I would say that there is a wide variety of causes, but one of the most underlying causes is poverty. Like that, it's just, across the board, like people who come from poor families, people who just have, I guess, less like networks and less supports. And then I would also say substance abuse and mental health problems also are very connected to that.
So would you say that homelessness could happen to anybody or?
I would say that it could happen to anyone, but that there are definitely people that it is more likely to happen to. It's more likely that you'd be homeless if you're African American, if you're a veteran. Children are more likely to be homeless, so there are people who are definitely more likely to be victims of homelessness.
Okay, so do you think that some members of the community that are homeless are treated differently in society, or?
Oh, I would definitely say that people are treated differently. Like there's always, like when I say where I work, people ask if I feel unsafe, or like I think that because I work for a nonprofit, Peter and Paul Community Services, if I feel like my clients are going to attack me, and it's just like crazy some of the responses you get.
I'm sure. So what are some of the ways people can help besides time and money? What are some ways people can get involved?
I would say if people could be open-minded, especially people who are doing hiring, people who are landlords, like just like giving people a chance, I would say is one of the biggest ways that people can help. Like taking that guy who has the tattoos or has a criminal background and like still giving him an interview, I think would be a major step in the right direction.
So what do you think some of the greatest challenges for someone that is homeless is? Would that be disease or actually trying to get back on track, finding a job, something like that? Or
I would definitely say trying to get back on track because it's so difficult if you have gaps in your employment history. And same with like if you have evictions or any of that, like it's really hard to get back on track. Disease, I would say, is less of a problem, but I might say like sexually transmitted diseases are pretty widespread. Like I specifically work with people who are homeless and HIV positive.
Right.
And so I would say that might be a problem.
Okay, so what are some aspects of being homeless that the general people or the general population might not realize?
I guess you wouldn't realize that a lot of people who are homeless, you wouldn't be able to tell like the difference between you and me on the street. Like we had one of our clients who worked at the Gap. He was very clean cut. You would never have guessed that he was homeless. So I think that just that there's no like distinguishing factors. I think one aspect that people don't always understand because people see that man with the dirty beard and like, who looks like he hasn't washed. Whereas like all of my clients, all 20 of them in the transitional housing program, like wash regularly,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, kind of just bring it back. What are some of the more inspirational stories you've heard, any members of the homeless community?
Recently, we had a client who I just was so inspired by him. He came to us, he had a crack cocaine problem, he had cancer that they thought was going to be terminal. He was HIV positive, so he had just had all of this stuff going on. And like he's in remission from cancer, his HIV numbers are doing great, and he sought treatment for the crack cocaine problem. And he just recently moved out, like to raise his 5-year-old daughter by himself. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just like doing great. He's making sure she gets to school and just doing all these wonderful things. So.
That's great. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about what exactly you hope to do at your center in the future going forward from this point and making a big change in St. Louis.
Well, because we just help a very specific, like where I work, we help 20 clients at a time. So I guess my change would be like as widespread, but I mean, I really just want to change the perception of what like a homeless person is. And like I really hate the like perception that like homeless people are lazy, like because we have people, I know I have one client who's looked for hundreds of jobs. Like we've applied for hundreds of jobs together, and just, I don't know, helping people, linking people with resources so they can get back out there and succeed.
Great. Are there any closing statements you'd like to make other than that?
I guess I would just say that you should give people the benefit of the doubt, homeless or not. So.
Great. Always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. And again, we'd like to thank Katie Leifer for sitting down with us. If you'd like more information about homelessness or Peter and Paul Community Services, you can find them at ppcsinc.org or on YouTube at ppcstube. For Billikens Buzz, I'm Taylor McDonald. We'll see you next week.